Hey guys, and welcome back to Trekyards. I'm Captain Foley. And today we're doing a breakdown look at a costume, a uniform from Discovery.
New uniform, yep, another Discovery update. They released this pretty intense infographic, kind of spills the beans. I know we saw them on screen, but this really goes into the details. And you've had a read of it, I've had a read of it. First impressions, now I've actually seen this uniform in all its crystal clear glory.
It's very, very nice, but
That's a nice butt, like that.
Not really era appropriate. This would be great for post-Voyager, I think. Kind of the next evolution of the uniform.
Yeah, because I mean, I really like the pips in the badge. I'll talk about that in a minute, but that's a nice evolution.
Just the fact they have pips. I mean, we know that TOS had the ranking stripes,
but they also have the ranking stripes.
Yeah, yeah.
Sort of, right? Yeah, they are more homogenous. You know, everyone looks a bit more similar, like in Enterprise, obviously, and somewhat in Nemesis. I think that uniform sort of is a bit more. So that's why you say it fits more. So this either kind of works as a, well, I said to you privately, but I think this works best as a post NX-01, like advancement uniform, not pre-TOS, but post. If the NX-01 was getting a sequel, this would be beautiful. Yeah, beautiful.
Totally agree.
So yeah, let's break down some things. So what really strikes out to you about now? We can see this in really great detail.
The first thing is it's not. Well, it is the first thing I noticed. It's the color palette. I love the dark blue. It's a nice tie-in with, like you said, Enterprise. But the command, the division colors are a little bit odd to me. I mean, gold for command, silver for science, and bronze for ops, which is fine. But gold and bronze are very similar, and at first glance, depending on the lighting, especially if you're on a planet with like a red sun, that's going to be all distorted. You're not going to know who's who as far as...
Or not at a glance, at least.
Yeah. I mean, TOS, it's pretty freaking obvious who's who and who's going to die because they're wearing a red shirt. You know, who are the bad guys going to kill now? They don't know. They don't know who to kill.
The gold braids, I guess now, the silver braids, the bronze. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that, you know, a lot of people out there will say those colours are very primary, very, they stand out too much, not very realistic. We've got the grey graphic here, all three colours are more muted sort of metallic tones, so it's more...
It's sharp looking.
Yeah, it's more industrial, it's more professional, I suppose, but yeah, the colours definitely are a lot closer. Obviously, as we said before, you know, when you're in the universe, as if it was real life, you have been brought up for a long time knowing these colours, so you'll see them without having to think about it. We're dressing it brand new, but for them it's obviously going to be much more obvious. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to have seen the different division colours be more... well, okay, you saw a picture today.
I did. I could actually show it.
Well, we'll show it in the cut.
Yeah, show it in the cut.
In the edit, yeah. What was the picture?
It was the captain of the Discovery.
Yep.
I forget his name.
Yep.
Isaacs.
Yep. Jason Isaacs.
Oh, the actor, yeah. But his shirt was changed to a yellowish velour, much like the cage. So like Jeffrey Hunter had going on with the kind of like the turtleneck, and it looked amazing.
With
spot
this
on
style though.
Exact same style, but with the yellow and I mean black pants by the looks of it, or darker pants. They should have just stayed with that. Just go with that.
Gorgeous.
I wouldn't have had I wouldn't have a problem with the rank on the delta, you know, and this things at the side and on the arms. I wouldn't have had a problem with that at all if they stayed true to the color scheme, at least for the era.
And even muted versions of the color scheme would be fine.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was absolutely beautiful. I'm glad to show that to us. Yeah, one thing that strikes out to me, I think we've mentioned this before, is that this feels a lot like the JJ-verse, Kelvin Timeline, Star Trek Beyond, I guess a away team uniform, away team jacket. Yeah. Very similar. I mean, which in itself, I mean, this one is more Star Trek, I'll say, than that one. That one's more Mass Effect. It's almost identical to a pre-existing jacket I've seen. This is a bit more, you can see the referential stuff, I think. That one was more, but very clearly now, is that a tie-in, is that a hint? I mean, that seems like a strange coincidence, like a film that just came out, the most recent Star Trek, and these uniforms happen to look very, very similar. Yeah. Is that...
And because we're seeing a lot of visual continuity with the JJ-verse, even though they claim it's not.
And things should not tie in. because they're alternate licenses. That it's not the same universes. It's not.
And another one of the tie-ins with the Kelvinverse is this: the slightly raised delta shapes on the
raised bits.
The raised bit, because we know that the whole uniform, the entirety of the JJ verse 1 is the little deltas, which is silly in and of itself. But to have that mirrored here,
worrying.
Yeah, it looks super cool from a distance and up close, but it's not my Star Trek.
It feels almost like a fan film design. Like, let's really pay homage.
Yeah.
Let's go that 120% to too far and just silly. So let's put the delta and everything. I know I'll mention the boots in a little bit. Yeah, that's a strange step too far. And obviously JJ-verse, they do their thing. And you can barely see them, to be fair. This, again, you can barely see them. It kind of gives texture though. But we've been walking around the TOS sets a little bit today, and we've got grating that's just PVC pipe. They just have a piping, just a very raised thing.
Yeah, just hexagonal shapes in there would have been fine.
Yeah, a nice reference to engineering squares. I mean, the things you can do with that. Now, I will say that we've heard reports that part of one of the controversial elements of this in particular is a clue, because the Kelvin Timeline films, owned by the Paramount company, are different to the CBS-owned Star Trek TV show and movies and video games. They're not video games. It's a separate license. One owns a movie, one owns a TV, and they are not things that really combine or swap. Now that saying, the NX-01 and the Phoenix are in Into Darkness, so clearly there is some give and take or leeway, but for the most part they're separate. And so this is one of the licensed, is copyrighted JJ-verse aspects, and so for CBS to use that would be, problematic to say the least, because they don't own this as part of it, and it would seem strange to license off Paramount a costume design when you don't need it. And so this, a lot of people are saying, is a big clue. This is in fact a Kelvin Timeline show, sort of, I guess, hiding as a prime timeline for the audience. And it is kind of a calling card of the JJ-verse for sure.
Yeah.
Going into as well.
It's a not so subtle hint.
Well, a secondary hint as well, the delta. All the Kelvin Timeline, everything has a delta.
That being said, this isn't a true delta. They've split it to make it look unique and different.
Yeah.
But I think all the ships in Starfleet are going to have the exact same one. So yes, it is the delta.
But then the Enterprise is just the full ship version. Well, obviously there's not, because they're all the same. Yeah, and I know there's yes, they're meant to be individual ship logos, but there's also a memo saying no, there should be one logo.
Yeah.
Both exist. Both are legitimately canon. I'm kind of fine with both, honestly, personally.
Yeah. I'm not so much with the same logo, but that's fine.
I mean, some of the fan versions look kind of silly as well. Like they're huge, and so I'm kind of. So it being the
red. Hard to make your own. It's pretty
that looks
subtle,
pretty good.
Pretty subtle. Pretty.
Pretty solid.
And it fits in. Yeah.
It does. But having the delta again is another hint to maybe this is also Kelvin Timeline, because that is established throughout. Even the Franklin has that as a design.
Yeah.
That's well before. So yeah. Another thing that I think we overall like this uniform as a uniform design.
Yes, awesome.
That's like our consensus. Not necessarily a Trek uniform, not necessarily. It's certainly not this era. I'm kind of surprised that it's got so many. It says ribbed elbow material. There's lots of ribbing. There's lots of texture.
It looks like a scuba suit.
Like a
wetsuit.
It does.
And you know what it looks like? It looks like the evolution of the dress uniform after the end of Enterprise. Because when Archer gave his speech, he had the high collar and it looked really sharp. This looks like just that next iteration.
Well, one theory was, pretty pants theory in my opinion, but a theory that this is the dress uniform, because it has some reminiscent elements of TOS.
Yeah.
I think it's ridiculous to have every character in all the shots ever be in dress, but whatever. So I mean, you can sort of say they're taking elements from different pieces, but at this point with so many stylistic elements that are different, it's safer to say they went their own direction than they pulled things willy-nilly. Because why pull from a dress uniform? It's special for a reason. Why pull from the JJ-verse? It's wrong for a reason. Why, it's...
Yeah.
There's references that make sense, and there's let's just pull things. At that point, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
It has no reason. And I'm wondering, is there like I know that the classic professor look is tweed with the brown,
with the leather patch.
And then obviously because they lean on things, do you think this is also practically because they're elbow based? I mean, is there a reason? Reasons?
Stuff and things.
Well, let's, I guess, go on to the sort of final thoughts on the com badge idea. What do you think the split means? It's not really a split as a step, and then a sort of text.
Yeah, I don't know. It could just be an attempted alteration to the original logo as part of a different ship, but I don't think that's what it is. I think it's just a new take on an old shape. They just want to do something new.
Yeah. How many ways can you change the delta? Well, sticking with the raw one, not very much. At least they've kept the those are the identical symbols for the branches.
Yeah.
That's nice. I mean, it should be. Obviously, we expect it because it should be, but it's nice they kept that. And again, if this was post TOS, or what? I mean, it wouldn't necessarily work as a post Enterprise C. The first step towards having the com badge pips would be in the pips would be in the com badge. I can buy that.
Mm-hmm.
But again,
you got to think too. These aren't com badges.
No,
because they do have communicators. So.
Yes, but to place them here, then go to this, and then go to. It seems odd to. The steps don't really line up.
Yeah.
A lot of raised elements, 6 raised stripes, color coded by division. I mean, I
guess there's a lot of blind people in the future. They need braille. They got to feel you. What's your rank? All right, and you got the deltas, so you're on my ship. We're good.
Yes. That is exactly. Yeah, and you can feel the pips as well. What rank you as well? Yeah, exactly.
Captain.
I can tell you Starfleet because you've got thousands of slightly raised deltas as well.
These are Klingon MMOs. Oh my god!
Is that Romulan? Or did you? But I mean, I do recognise the braiding as all the militaries have, braiding here.
Usually for dress uniforms, though.
Going down to the trousers, not pants, trousers.
Pants in America.
Yeah, America. You mentioned an important thing.
A very important thing, which I've always been an advocate for on Starfleet uniforms. Pockets. They do have pockets with zippers, which is cool.
Yes, very much an X. Very natural. They should have pockets. I mean, there's no reason not to have pockets at this point.
Yes. The only reason they don't have pockets is so the actors wouldn't be standing around with their hands in their pockets when they have nothing to do. That was the reason for not having pockets. It's silly, but it's the way it is.
At the same time.
Yeah.
But not for, not good in terms.
No practicality.
You would have thought they'd all have belts then with like, Batman style utility belt. Yeah. I mean, you've got that's not much to talk about there, I suppose. Boots. You wouldn't think boots would be anything to talk about, because in TOS they're just black boots. I think everyone else they're just black boots. These are... Well, he's laughing. Why are you laughing?
They look like they'd be Batman boots.
Or like goth boots.
Yeah. I mean, they look like rubber boots that have just been... turned into something for cosplay. Yeah. I mean, they got 2 deltas on each boot as like clasps. We know there's deltas all over the uniform, plus the delta insignia, plus deltas on the chairs from what we've seen. Why do you need so many deltas? To remind yourself where you are? I'm a member of Starfleet today. Form
follows function. Graphics follow usefulness. Yeah. Excessive.
To say the least.
Any of the ships are delta.
Yeah, good point.
And maybe this is the first 2 years of the Delta, the very first introduction, because the Enterprise had it. Maybe there's a first introduction. The Enterprise had it. They've adorned it. It's now standard, and they're really saying, you know what, guys, we've made the Delta our thing, and it's on everything. It's accessories, a Delta watch, an iWatch, Delta sunglasses. They're just Deltas. A whole Delta phaser. I don't know.
Delta pacemaker.
Delta hearing aid.
Yeah.
Imagine if the Uhura style piece is a Delta.
No, I wouldn't be surprised at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we're not really complaining about the boots because they're just boots, but it's just strange. The 2 things, it's got a division color coded metal highlight encompassing the base of the boots and 2 deltas. Both.
So, see, that's important though, to know which division is approaching you when you're drunk on the floor at night and you see this gold boot step up. You're like, shit, that's command.
Yes.
Hello.
Or when like an admiral comes in, you can't look at him. You got to look at your shoes because you have to be respectful. Oh, that's the admiral. He's got the bright gold boots. again, all these things are designed, so we were asking the question of why they're designed, and we don't have a reason.
No.
I don't think there is a reason beyond, we'll add something. Now, I will say, you put it all together, it's an intriguing uniform, as we said. Mm-hmm. It's a good-looking uniform. You put it all together, it kind of works.
Yeah.
But it doesn't fit the era. It could fit maybe 50 years earlier. You know, post-NX, pre-TOS, sure. It is a long gap, you know. Sort of 2200s.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? Yeah. But again, we are here to talk about what is canon, what isn't canon, and not say the TV of the present has to be TOS. No, you can update things. But we've seen really good updates. You know, these sets are at this. You know, here they have slightly updated elements, and we love them because they make sense, and you could do it without changing things.
Yeah.
When they're meant to be a certain way, and again, you can do that, but call it reboot because it's a reboot.
Yeah.
It's easy to call it reboot, and this would be very fun. This would be a cool uniform.
Yeah. One thing I would like to see, I like the deltas being the nice gold, bronze, silver. That's fine, having those different division colors, but keep the deltas, the little ribbing things on the side, the same color. Gold for command, red for...
Well, I think they are.
Red for security and ops, and blue for sciences and medical. Like a darker blue on that would look amazing. Red would look really cool.
Red would look cool, yeah.
On the blue.
And if you had like a chromey feel, it wouldn't even be like a more metallic colour, it would be...
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd look interesting.
Yeah, I think that would improve these 1,000%, personally.
That's a lot of percent.
Just keep the original colors, because even Enterprise had those colors on the stripes.
Well, everyone, yeah.
TOS had it, TNG had it, they switched them around. Voyager had it, Deep Space Nine had it, Enterprise had it, everyone's had it, and then this all of a sudden goes to metallic shades.
Well, what about TMP and Wrath of Khan? They were...
TMP still had the Wrath of Khan still had the colored turtlenecks.
Yep.
By division. And TMP was just a nightmare. Just the pajamas.
Yeah.
But they were still color coded somewhat. So
yes. So it's a strange uniform. I'm glad with these details and clarifications. We sort of sussed out a lot of the stuff by ourselves just from analysis. I mean, I think people look smart in this.
Yeah.
But very, very much so. If you took out the Delta,
yeah.
As in fact Star Trek Renegades did. Take out the Delta, the uniform suddenly wouldn't look Star Trek as much.
Yeah.
You see the guy on the bridge, you see the bridge isn't Star Trek, you see the uniform isn't really Star Trek. Doesn't matter, the colours are sort of similar, sort of clothes. It's like, that could be any other sci-fi. It could be Andromeda, Farscape. It's kind of surprising the route they're going, honestly. And the show will probably be great. We'll probably really enjoy it, we'll probably love talking about it. But it's certainly not prime time, and it's certainly not this era.
Right.
That's disappointing. But hopefully one day they'll make a show in the prime timeline. That'd be great.
And on that note, guys, hope you liked this video. If you did, click like and subscribe. And we will see you next time when we have more Discovery to talk about.
Yes.
Or whatever else.
Yes.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.